Would you believe that some of the deadliest creatures on our planet can kill you without biting, without scratching, and without leaving a single mark on your skin? Sounds impossible, right? But it's real. In the wild, and even in places humans visit every day, there are animals capable of shutting down your organs, altering your brain, or destroying your heart without you feeling anything until it's too late. And stay until number 1, because the creature at the top of this list is so silent, so common, and so deceptive that most victims never know they're dying until the very final stage. Welcome back to Top Wonder, the place where we uncover the deadliest, strangest, and most shocking creatures in the natural world. Today, we're counting down 10 animals that kill you slowly without symptoms. These aren't predators that chase you. These aren't monsters with claws or teeth. These are silent killers, animals whose toxins, parasites, and diseases move quietly through the body, turning off vital systems long before you ever notice something is wrong. Let's get into it. Number 1. Kissing bug. At first glance, the kissing bug looks like an ordinary insect, flat-bodied, long-legged, and designed to slip through cracks in walls and bedding. What most people don't realize is that it approaches its victims while they sleep, crawling across the face to feed on thin skin around the mouth and eyes. The bite doesn't hurt, and most people never wake up. The real danger begins after the feeding. As the insect crawls away, it defecates near the wound. When the victim instinctively scratches the irritated skin, a microscopic parasite enters the bloodstream. And from that moment, the clock begins ticking. For months, even years, the infected person may feel completely healthy. Meanwhile, the parasite multiplies quietly inside the body, slowly attacking the heart, digestive organs, and nervous system. Some victims only discover they're infected after suffering heart failure in their 30s or 40s. Doctors in Texas and Arizona have reported cases where patients arrived with severe heart damage and had no idea a tiny bug from years earlier was responsible. The twist: the kissing bug is spreading across North America, meaning the danger is moving closer to millions of people who will never feel the moment they were infected. Number 9. Tsetse fly. The tsetse fly is small, striped, and looks like a harmless housefly. But one bite is all it takes to deliver a parasite that begins one of the slowest and most horrifying deaths in the animal kingdom. The parasite that causes African sleeping sickness doesn't kill instantly. Instead, it gradually rewrites a victim's biology. It starts with mild symptoms, headaches, fever, and fatigue, symptoms so vague that most people ignore them. But quietly, the parasite slips into the bloodstream and eventually crosses into the brain. Once inside the nervous system, it changes everything. Sleep cycles collapse, victims fall asleep suddenly during the day, suffer hallucinations, and slowly lose control of their bodies. Eventually, the brainstem shuts down, and the victim slips into a coma they can never wake up from. Entire villages in Central Africa have suffered outbreaks where dozens of people died, not realizing the slow decline began with one bite they barely noticed. The twist: the parasite moves so quietly that by the time real symptoms appear, treatment often arrives too late. Number 8. Freshwater snail. Tiny, slow, and harmless-looking, freshwater snails pose one of the strangest and most misunderstood dangers in tropical regions. What makes them lethal isn't the snail itself, but the army of parasites living inside their bodies. These parasites enter the skin when people swim, fish, or walk through contaminated water. The initial infection causes almost nothing, a mild itch that fades within minutes. But once inside, the parasites begin migrating through blood vessels, laying eggs that get trapped in vital organs. Over months and years, the liver, intestines, and bladder become filled with scar tissue. Victims experience internal bleeding, anemia, organ swelling, and intense pain, but only after the damage becomes irreversible. Some fishermen in Africa and South America have died slowly over years, unaware the deadly process began the moment they stepped into warm freshwater. The twist, a creature moving 1 inch per minute can end a human life inch by inch over a decade. Number 7. Box jellyfish. Drifting in warm coastal waters, nearly invisible to the human eye, the box jellyfish looks less like an animal and more like a floating ghost. But its tentacles carry thousands of microscopic harpoons that inject venom powerful enough to stop a human heart. And here is the nightmare. Many victims don't even feel the sting at first. The venom acts quietly, spreading through the bloodstream, attacking the heart and nervous system. Some swimmers collapse minutes after leaving the water, unaware they were touched by a single tentacle strand thinner than a human hair. In Australia, lifeguards have documented cases where victims made it all the way to shore, spoke a few words, and then collapsed as their heart rhythm suddenly failed. The twist, a creature with almost no brain has one of the most efficient slow-kill weapons on Earth. Number 6. Cone snail. Beautiful, patterned shells make cone snails look like harmless sea collectibles. But inside lives a predator armed with one of nature's most sophisticated biological weapons. When threatened, the snail fires a hidden harpoon, a microscopic needle that injects conotoxin directly into the bloodstream. Victims feel nothing at first. The venom works silently, shutting down neurons one by one. First, numbness in the fingers, then the arms, then the legs. Eventually, the diaphragm, the muscle that keeps you breathing, stops working entirely. Victims remain conscious, trapped inside their own body, unable to move or call for help. A famous case involved a diver who was stung while collecting shells. He appeared completely fine for nearly 20 minutes, until paralysis overtook his lungs. The twist, the cone snail doesn't attack intentionally. All it takes is someone picking up the wrong shell on the wrong day. Number 5. Blue-ringed octopus. Small enough to fit in your hand, glowing with bright blue rings that pulse like warning lights, the blue-ringed octopus is beautiful and deceptively deadly. Its bite is almost painless. Many victims don't notice it at all. But within minutes, a powerful neurotoxin begins spreading through the body. Muscles weaken, vision blurs, the victim suddenly feels heavy, tired, unable to breathe deeply. Yet the mind stays fully awake. This terrifying sensation, being paralyzed while conscious, can last for hours. Without immediate medical support, the victim suffocates slowly, fully aware of what's happening. Several beachgoers in Australia have picked up the tiny octopus for selfies, only to collapse minutes later without understanding what touched them. The twist, there is no antivenom. Number 4. Stonefish. Camouflaged perfectly against the ocean floor, the stonefish is almost invisible, and stepping on one triggers a slow, agonizing decline. The spines inject venom that attacks muscles, nerves, and tissue. Victims often feel only mild discomfort at first. But within hours, the venom spreads, triggering swelling, blistering, and necrosis. Some victims lose consciousness from shock, others require amputations. One fisherman in Queensland reported feeling like something pinched his foot. Hours later, he was screaming in agony as the venom destroyed tissue from the inside. The twist? Stonefish venom becomes more deadly the longer it stays untreated, and shallow beach water is its favorite hiding place. Number 3. Pufferfish. Often served as an exotic delicacy, the pufferfish contains tetrodotoxin, one of the most powerful toxins on Earth. A single mistake in preparation can slip microscopic droplets of poison into the meat, and the victim will never taste or smell anything unusual. Within 20 to 40 minutes, numbness spreads through the body. Speech slurs, muscles weaken, the victim becomes unable to move, trapped inside a slowing body. Organ systems begin shutting down one by one, all while the mind remains clear. Several diners in Japan and China have died slowly over hours, lying fully conscious on hospital beds, unable to breathe. The twist, there is still no cure, only waiting and hoping the toxin wears off before the lungs stop. Number 2. Rabies bed. Bats themselves aren't aggressive, but their saliva carries one of the most terrifying slow-kill viruses known to science, rabies. A person may not even notice the bite. It can be as small as a pinprick. For weeks or even months, they feel perfectly normal. But the virus quietly travels through nerves toward the brain. Then the collapse begins: anxiety, hallucinations, hydrophobia, seizures, and once symptoms appear, rabies is almost always 100% fatal. One of the most chilling cases involved a teenager in the US who picked up a grounded bat, didn't realize it had bitten him, and died weeks later after showing the first symptoms. The twist: rabies is only treatable before symptoms appear. After that, no cure exists. Number 1. Mosquito. The deadliest slow-kill animal in the world isn't a predator. It isn't large, it doesn't chase or attack. It simply lands on the skin and leaves behind viruses that destroy the body quietly from within. Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus, Zika, dengue, yellow fever, and the most devastating of all, malaria. Symptoms often start mild: fever, headaches, nausea, and many victims assume they simply caught the flu. But inside, the viruses multiply, attacking the brain, liver, lungs, and blood vessels. Some victims die days later, others survive but suffer lifelong neurological damage. One bite, no pain, no warning. The twist? Mosquitoes kill more people every year than sharks, lions, snakes, spiders, and all big predators combined. So, which of these slow and silent killers shocked you the most? The pufferfish that traps you inside your own body? The kissing bug that destroys your heart over years? Or the mosquito, the deadliest animal on the planet? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Top Wonder, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next countdown from the wild, dangerous, and unbelievable side of nature.